We'll start. There's mics here. Please wait for the mic. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm a party Catrice, CBS Sports. Is this on? Anyway, obviously you were talking yesterday about progress and balancing that with, winning today's game. What are your immediate thoughts after the game, and what is the message to the team after, today's result?
Well, first of all, congratulations to Japan. What a worthy opponent and worthy winners of SheBelieves. I think I always go back to what our objectives were in the first place, and that was to deepen our playing pool with opportunities in high-pressured situations against top opponents, and that's what tonight especially was about. I think we can look at the progress of Ali Sentner, young player coming into the senior camp, scoring a couple of goals. Lily Johannes getting her first 2 starts at the senior level. There are plenty of new combinations and new connections which throw up a number of challenges when you play a well-polished team. And I think we look through the lens of our objectives and say, listen, we've certainly looked at our players in this setting, and we've definitely got a better understanding of where they are within that journey. And as I've said before, we have to look at which players are ready for now and which players are ready for later, and which ones will go with the 23s and which ones will develop with us. So from that perspective, it was, mission accomplished. And I completely understood the quality of the opponent we would face tonight. They, without question, are one of the best teams in the world, with players that are extremely well played in together, whilst probably the vast majority of them being in the middle of their season. And I think that showed in the game. And it's okay to be disappointed. I told the players that. It's really important to remember moments like this and the learnings that we take from it. And I look forward to the next opportunity we're together to build on some of that progress and learn the most important things when you play a top-class opponent. I'd rather do that now than much later.
Go ahead, Mel.
Melanie Anzide with The Athletic. Of course, you just mentioned some lessons learned. So specifically with this match against Japan, what were some positive takeaways? What were some of the lessons you learned from the specific game?
Well, I think teaching players to understand what's required at the highest level internationally, you can say that, you can show that, but they get to feel that. And whether you have to recognise how to hold on to the ball better, because if you don't, you're going to be chasing all night. So I think for us as a team, we attract pressure really well, but breaking the pressure is something we have to look at developing. I think the learnings that players, I think, will fully understand about why you can't jump out of areas in the wrong moments. I think that's a really good learning curve for our players. And I think the importance of experiencing it early on. Whether you're Lily to Claire Hutton, to experience a competition where you ask yourself, I can't believe I'm here, I'm at this level, and put in place the mechanisms to make sure you're successful as you build through your career with the senior side. So I think it's been extremely valuable for us, and I'm very, very grateful for the high quality opponent to, push us to the next place.
Down front.
Hi, Scott French with Soccer America. Your thoughts on especially Ali Sentner and McVeigh, what you saw in them and their path during this tournament?
Sentner and McEwen? Yeah, Nicky Owen, sorry.
Yes.
Ali's demonstrated in her rise through the youth national teams and in her first pro year that she's got qualities that can decide a game. She certainly finishes the very minimal chances she might get, and that's what top players possess. And I think she's got that. And I think she can build, it will build her confidence to have had this tournament and be given a couple of starts sort of back to back. I think with Tara, she's new to the senior national team, that she's, I'm sure, will have learned a lot about anything from, you know, her build-up angles and how you break pressure against the best opponents, to recognising that at the top level, games are usually decided by very marginal moments. And even though I think the better team clearly won, we still conceded poor goals, you know, in both situations. So I think there's learnings there, not just for her, but for the whole team. Like I said, I enjoy developing players, and I think it's important to provide these development pathways, and I am certain that we will be better off for it.
Hi, Coach. This is Morvilla for Diario AS from Spain. And I know that you have now a good time with the team, but it's still a new generation for the U.S. women's national team. In what position after this tournament, after this time, do you see this new generation of the U.S. women's national team?
Well, you know, it's cyclical in football or in any sport. You know, we've won the gold medal in the summer, and we are, you know, wanting to compete to win the World Cup. So we have to keep developing, and development isn't linear. It isn't just, you know, in one direction. I think you need moments to, you know, give you a sense of where you are in that path. But I think it's exciting, and I think our future is exciting regardless of the result. As I said, we play one of the best teams in the world today, whose nucleus have played together for a long time, and it showed. So for us, we need to build the group and a larger pool that we think are going to progress us to the World Cup. And now we have to develop our game model so that it plays out with the qualities that we know you need to have to beat the very, very best teams at the top level.
Back to Scott.
In terms of determining which of these young players need to continue on with the national team, which go to U23s, do you know that now, or is that something that you go over the data, you look at the film, you mull it over a little longer?
Yeah, I mean, we have really thorough processes around what we do to not be emotional around those things. We'll take the time. There's multiple people involved with that, including, you know, the head of youth development and Tracy Kevins, to, you know, the technical team that, you know, will work through in the upcoming weeks what we think the best, you know, progression paths will be for each and every player. And I feel like we're in a solid place in terms of that journey, and I think by taking the risks we take now, is the right decision for the program. So now it's on to the next steps. And the great thing about this period is we've got a camp coming up in April, then in May, then in June. And I think we've got, you know, a good period of time in which to further define, you know, our identity, and something we're very much looking forward to.
In terms of the gaps that may have existed before this tournament and now at the end of it, which do you feel were best closed, and what are the biggest gaps that remain?
Well, I think the gaps are in experience. You know, Hasegawa in the middle of the park is probably the best pivot in the world. at both the domestic and international level. And our pivot is 17 years of age and played in 3 caps. So, we have to be patient too in our expectations. And we have a player in Kat Macario who has played the best part of 2 games for the national team in more than 24 months and shown moments of brilliance, but is still building her way back to full fitness. We've got the vast majority of our players that are just in their pre-season. So it's important for us to be reflective that we are where we are in a stage of our development and not to compare ourselves to anyone else. Just go through the thorough processes that we will do to make sure we're on track for the things that we want to achieve and build the confidence in the program to keep doing what we're doing, because I genuinely believe we're going in the right direction.
Just going to take a couple online. Meg Linehan, go ahead.
Hi, Emma. I know obviously a lot of rotation, but I was hoping that you could discuss what you saw out of Yasmin Ryan tonight. Obviously, I think back to that first half, that long crossfield switch that she had that was just perfectly placed. What did you see out of her passing game in particular?
I think there were some good moments from Yaz, as you already described, both on the assist for the goal and her ability to carry the ball up the pitch for the team. I think the next steps for her, especially from a defensive perspective, some of the things that you have to do, particularly in the middle phases, determining the right moments when to step up and press the ball and when to hold your position. And I think there's another layer of learning for her, but I think she's shown some really good signs and shown once again the quality in her execution. That's 2 assists in the last 2 games, at least the 2 that I can remember. I always say this, like I don't always remember the goals from back-to-back games, and not because I swear that's menopause most of the time. But anyway, I think it was really a lot of good progress from Yaz. But I think we now got the time to really assess, okay, what else do we need to add to her game to take it to the next level?
Let's go to Lakin. Go ahead, Lakin.
Hey, Emma. How would you assess your goalkeepers in this camp, and what stood out the most to you about each of them? Obviously, Jane and Mandy playing, and then Fallon and as a training player.
Well, I think we're still getting to know them. So I think Jane's had 2 games, Mandy's had 1. They're both got little experience in terms of games at this level, and you won't know the next steps and unless we play them. So I think it's important to remember that for a lot of years other goalkeepers haven't been given the same playing time as Alyssa. Of course, she's a world-class goalkeeper, but we have to close the gap in that for both of them. And I think Mandy's qualities in the build-up is really, really strong. I think she's good with her feet, good decision maker and execution under pressure. I've not seen enough of her yet to know the different measures of her presence. We're still learning a lot about her, and I think with Jane, more experienced, at least within the group. And I think Jane is such a great learner and wants to keep improving. So, our job is to keep pushing and developing, and time will reveal where they both are. But I know I've been in this situation a lot of times in my career. I value patience in development, and I know that we have a plan, and it's important for us to keep developing as we are.
Andre Carlisle, go ahead.
Thanks for speaking
Hey.
with us. I actually wanted to keep talking about goalkeepers because there was Fallon as well that was part of the
Yeah.
group as a training player, and I just wanted to know. I know it was a chaotic back-to-back tournament, but were you able to see anything from her, or did you even have the thought to maybe give her a game?
No, I think sometimes I know everybody always wants for us to always play every player every time, but I think it's important for everybody to understand that when you come into a new environment, sometimes it takes a little bit of time for players to settle. You know, for Fallon, this is just her second camp, and she's still getting to know people. Like, forget her playing ability. You got to build relationships off the field too, and that's something that will take a little bit of time. She's having an unbelievable season at Manchester United, and we've been keeping tabs on her progress, and she knows the areas that she has to keep improving in, and I'm sure Fallon will get her opportunities with us. But the other two have been around the group a little bit longer and have built those connections and those relationships. So, Fallon will get her turn, but not this camp.
Last one goes to Andrew Jones. Go ahead, man.
Thanks, Aaron, as always. Emma, hope that you're feeling a little bit better from the update. At least Micah Hermonos is someone you know very well, and how you felt that you dealt with her and you had a chance to talk with her at the end of the match. And you still ended up with 50-50 possession in this game despite the inexperience gap. Is that something where at the very least you could say that they didn't dominate the ball the way they can with their style?
Well, Micah was the golden ball winner at the under-20 World Cup and a fabulous player that's progressing really, really well. Again, thought she had a great game tonight. And I think when it comes to possession, I mean, I'm less interested in that. I'm more interested in, are we possessing to progress the ball in the right moments, and are we executing those things in the right moments? And I didn't think we did that well enough for long enough tonight, and I think it's to be expected. And there were, of course, some great moments for us, but at this moment in time, I think we produced the performance probably for where the experience as a whole is, and I urge the fans to make sure that they come out again, support us in LA, support us at SoFi. We are very much, on track to keep producing the players that we hope will continue to make this program competitive, and I still believe it was a very good tournament for us.
Awesome. Thanks very much, Emma. We'll see
Cheers.
everyone in Los Angeles.